Hey everybody, just wanted to just kind of close out the night. I had a meeting earlier and it just some of the things in that conversation kind of bugged me a little bit. Not in a bad way. It's just that I've been working with this group for a while and they brought in some different some I won't say issues, but they brought in some different things, that they wanted to talk about. And I was totally open for it because, I welcome any, be it good feedback, bad feedback, or whatever. Hey, before we get into this, my name's Byron Lindsay, and what I'm known for is helping great salespeople get better and good salespeople become great. And I don't do it normally. I'm one of these types of trainers. A lot of people teach a theory, and they go into these different concepts and peace, love, dope, and let's do whatever. All I'm saying to you is I like to get in the rough and tumble. Let's get it. Let's find out what's really going on in the market. Let's find out what's going on between you and your client. Let's take the emotion out of it and see what we can do to fix it. Before I get into this, if you go to BysterBootCamp.com, you're going to be able to register for just a short webinar I'm going to do. If you haven't seen how I handle clients and sales calls, you may want to look at some of my past videos on Facebook or YouTube, and you'll see how I provide feedback. And I'm very direct in what I do from a standpoint of this. In the end, my goal is to help you help your client. I want you to be strong enough to get them to do the right things right. And so many times when I'm working with a lot of agents, they have a sales process that it's a good sales process, but they put a lot of steps in there. They put a lot of things in their presentation that really is just foo-foo. It's say, hey, let me show up and tell you how great I am. And so many times we as salespeople don't realize the customer doesn't care how great you are. They want to know how much value you're going to bring to them. They want to know how you're going to help them help their client, because keep in mind, their money is driven from their client. They don't care about us as salespeople. It's like me as a sales trainer. I'm trying to help you help your client so that you can ultimately take care of yourself, your family. And when you pay me to help you get better, guess what? We all win. So I'm bringing this up because the bad habits are what's so hard for reps to let go of. It's things that we've been taught and taught wrong forever. I love my mother and my father, but neither one of them were salespeople. They always taught me to be subservient. It's like, think about it. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm raised in the South. That's how it works. And so when I'm working with some of these representatives, they've been taught all along. I remember back years ago with a gentleman that I work for in the training department, and he had been in sales for a long time. He sold Yellow Page ads. And when they would do cold calls, their whole thing was, hey, I'm going to call and I'm going to do an appointment. And my question was, why? And he goes, because that's the way we do it. You want to get in front of them. You want to be able to do all these things. And it's like, well, yes and no. Why in the hell do you want to go and meet with them if you don't have to? Try to get the information you need so that you can sell them before you go. And so I've always put a test in any sales process that I've done is if I can't answer why I'm doing it, then it's wrong to be doing it. If I can't answer the why other than that's how we do it, then there's no validity in going through that step. And I want to give kind of a short story. I had a friend of mine who sold insurance, and it was a unique type of insurance. It's credit insurance. And she and another young lady had closed a large account, and it was awesome. But they didn't work together initially. That one had worked on it, then the other one came in, and then they grouped back up because you didn't want to step on each other's toes. And then they closed this one part of the account. Well, that particular account sold to someone that was a very large opportunity, and most of that sales process was done over the phone. So the question I had for them is, why do you always do an appointment? Why is it when you get an appointment scheduled, you don't ask the questions that you need to prepare yourself for that meeting to cut out some of the steps? Now, keep in mind, I'm not stupid. Some sales processes need appointments. But so many times we put them through a process and they put us through a process because that's the way we've always done it. And my challenge to you as a sales rep is this. Look, I'm damn good at what I do. I've been doing sales for a long time, and a lot of times I'll get people, they want me, hey, get down and dirty. Tell me what it is. Well, you can't just give an answer. And if you go out and you watch any sales process or you look at anything that's going on, if you don't learn what's happening between your client and your sales reps, then you're not going to be able to fix any of the problems. And that's what I specialize in. I want to look and evaluate, are you doing it right? Are you doing it wrong? And so many, and everybody, it just gives me a headache how many people almost want to cry because I did something wrong. Well, welcome to the world, ladies and gentlemen. We all do something wrong. It's okay. No one's going to die because of it, but let go of your bad habits. If you've been doing it wrong for a long time, so what? Today is a new day. Tomorrow, when you're working with that client or a new client, they have no idea. I never will forget, and I don't want to say the lady that helped me in my training career, but one time I was talking to her, and I'm like, what if I deliver it wrong? That's going to be a problem. And I was a little snowflake because I wanted to be perfect. Well, we're not going to be perfect. That's not how the world works. So she says to me, Byron, so let's say you deliver something and you realize you've made a mistake. You take a break, you do whatever, let them go to the restroom, let them do a smoke break, come back in and correct your mistake. And they have no idea that you made one. And that was some of the best advice I ever got, because here's what I want you to realize. I help companies write scripts. If you go to BeisterBootcamp.com, we're going to walk through how's your marketing, how's your scripting, what are you doing with your client, which parts are you adding in that you don't need to add in. But in the end, if you're going to spend a lot of money and go through a training, you've got to be willing to let go of some of the things that you've, quote, always done. And that was what I often found with once she told me that. It was amazing because nobody knows you did something wrong but you. Like right now, I'm doing a live video. People ask me, why do you do a live video? And here's why. If you try to be perfect all the time, you will never get anything done. You will keep editing and editing and editing. Oh, you said something wrong. And I remember one time I was listening to Grant Cardone. He was talking about his first book he wrote after 2008. And people were coming up to him, man, do you realize you have a typo on page 208? And his answer was, if that's all you got out of my damn book, please throw my book away. I don't want to hear it. I'm trying to help you make money. If you want to critique everything I do wrong, if you want to critique all that, fine. Have a good day. I don't care. And that's good advice to you as a salesperson. Here's what I want you to realize. If you work with me, I'm going to pick things apart. I want to help you get better, and I want to help you be able to learn to identify where you've made an honest mistake. Now, does that mean you have to run back to your customer and go, oh, I made a mistake? No. It's just the next time you interact with that customer, do it right. The whole point to this evening is these 5 representatives, they've had their nose bent a little bit out of joint. I've heard a couple of them's feelings, and it's not just me. The customer has said some of the things to them that I said the customer would say to them. And it just hurts their little feelings. And I'm not trying to be condescending, but I know they're going to watch this video, and I don't care, because if you can't take constructive criticism that's backed up with fact, that's backed up with rhyme, reason, then you need to get out of sales. Because when I'm hiring a salesperson, or I have a salesperson come in to sell me something, I want them to have conviction at what they do. I want them to believe in what they're selling. I want them, when they tell me to do something, they must think I am insane if I don't go their route. And the reason why I want them to believe it is because if I ask them, why do you believe so much in your product? Or why do you believe this is going to help me? They're going to be able to answer that. Now, if they give me some canned, generic answer, okay, I'm going to be able to identify it and ask them another question, and then they're lost. So I know how to check that. But I want you as a salesperson to realize you bring so much value to the table. You get the opportunity to work with different clients, different industries, even in the same industry, and people look at things differently. So when you're talking to that customer, if you've experienced some of the problems that they've had, or you've had some things happen with other clients, you can say with conviction, the right thing for you to do is follow me on this. You will. Let me tell you just a short story. Before I get to that, let's look at, go to BysterBootCamp.com if you're interested in looking at what we're going to cover in a training, in a boot camp spread over 6 weeks. In other words, we're going to give you skills, let you go out there and stumble a little bit, and that's what we're experiencing right now. I have 5 people that have been through some of my training, and they're pushing back, and I'm okay with that. But what hurt their feelings is when I started role playing with them, they were lost. And that right there tells me they haven't been asking their customers the right questions. But off of BysterBootCamp.com, let's get back to the story that I want to tell you. Is when you're out there and you're working with these clients, they have a right to challenge you. They're challenging you to know. They want to know if you have a conviction and you have the wherewithal to help them guide and direct some of the things that's going on. I am the type where I have no problem. I'll get in there and do a role play. And when I say a role play, I mean I'll get on the phones. I'll go out in the field with their representatives. I will do what these people do to show you how I can help you grow your company. I've done it with customer service. I've done it with sales. But I want you to, as sales representatives, start evaluating your sales process. Ask yourself, why do I have to do an appointment and not pre-qualify a customer before I waste my time? It's so funny. I mean, one of these guys went on 6 different appointments, was gone for 2 days from home. He was totally unsuccessful. And when I started asking him questions about his client and all the different things and how he was going to help him, he couldn't answer me. And the reason was he had folded back to the old way of selling. He had gone in and done a presentation. He had done nothing but put his little PowerPoint up on the thing and expected that to sell it for him. That's not what a customer's looking for. It's so funny when you look at the Challenger program that came out 8 or 9 years ago. They talk about how clients have gone through, they've done a lot of research and they're at 57% of the buying process. Well, the reason why they're only at 57% is they don't know how to apply the knowledge that you have as sales representative. But if all you've ever done is show up and throw up and got lucky that someone bought, you're bringing nothing to the table. Now, does that mean your career's over? No. You can still go back in your mind and start picking up some things. You can go back to some of these clients and start asking some of the questions. There's never a time where you can't go back to ask the things that you need to know. And that brings me to the next step that I want some of you guys to think about. If you do the sales process right, someone asked me, and I'm going to do a video on this, on return on investment. I talk about return on investment, and I think everybody knows what it is, how to get there. But there are so many avenues inside of return on investment. But here's what I'm wanting you to realize. If you do the sales process right on the front end, you will be amazed at how easy it is to keep your customer on the back end and sell them something else. Do right by your customer. Lead them down a path that helps them be successful. And guess what? You will be successful. And I just want you, tonight, I'm telling you, it almost gave me a headache when these guys keep talking about when they're doing their role plays with me. Hey, Mr. Customer, if you get enough, we can discount the price. If you bring up discount, you have planted in the customer 2 things. 1, you're overcharging them to begin with. And 2, that you're sitting here already wanting to drop price, you're wanting to negotiate, you're wanting to get somewhere that you don't want to be. If I'm making an offer to you, if I'm talking to you, I want you to rest assured, when you go to Byster Boot Camp, I'm going to charge for the boot camp. and I'm going to charge a lot of money, you are going to look at it and go, oh my God, that is a large price. And guess what? You need to quit focusing on the cost and look at what you're going to gain on the other side of the boot camp. I want to help you not for today, not for tomorrow, but for years going forward. I don't care if you stay with the company you're with now. I want you to take your sales career and step it up each time. And the key is the skills are the same. You look at a master craftsman who can build a building. He started out building little building blocks, and all of a sudden, boom, he can build anything. What I want you to realize, it's the same skill set. You just hone it to get better and better at the same skill. So listen, I've probably gone on too far, and I have to admit that it's kind of frustrating when I'm hearing these guys and I'm role playing with them and I'm asking questions about their client and they can't answer me, and they're 2 to 3 weeks into this process and they came loaded for game. You could tell that they had met, so they were going to get me. And so as I'm asking these questions, I'm like, guys, I mean no disrespect to you, but you're not able to answer the question of what these companies do, what their revenue is, what their margins are, how they differentiate themselves from their competition. It's if you can't tell me that and I look as a sales manager, then don't come to me for a discount. If you can't explain to me what's going on in that company and why you're having to drop your pants to get the business, why am I paying you at all? Why shouldn't your company just put it online if you're going to just be the low-cost provider? It just shocks me how often I hear it. So back to the point. If you want more and you want to hone your skills, you want to become the best of the best, I want you to go to Bystr Boot Camp, sign up, go through the mini webinar that we're going to do, and then I'm going to start rolling that class. It's going to cover a 6-week period, and as you can tell, I welcome challenges. And before we go, I'm sorry, I know I said one last thing, so it's hard for me to count to one. Just kidding, but so many times I get, well, what my industry's different. Your industry isn't different. It may be different from the one that I'm selling in, but the sales skills are the same. You're dealing with a human being. They have missions. They have goals. They have, they want to make money. They want to be successful at what they do, and they're looking for you to give them a tool to help them be that. I don't care what you're selling. You can adjust a sales process. It's like a toolbox. If I'm going to work on a car and I've got a toolbox that'll handle anything, guess what? When I get to that toolbox, I can grab the right tools, and that's what we're going to teach you are the right skills to do what you do best, and that's help your client succeed and pay yourself well. Hey, listen, it's probably been, I've rambled on probably longer than I should have. If this has helped you at all, here's what I'm wanting you to realize, ladies and gentlemen. If you can't answer why, then you need to quit doing the part that you're doing. In other words, why are we doing an appointment? I don't know, because that's what we've always done. That's not an answer. If you go through all these steps, and you've got to help your customer. You've got to learn more about your customer first, and your goal should be to minimize the impact with the customer, drive the revenue up, and help them reach their goals. And when they look at you and they go, hey, you're more expensive than your competitor, you're damn right I am. I'm good at what I do. I take the time to figure out what it is that we need to accomplish here. I'm not just selling you sales training. I want to sell you a sales process that you can teach all your representatives and help your customers reach their goals so that you're not getting the churn on the back end. And we'll talk about that when I get into the return on investment. I love it how you can sell a whole lot, but the customers fall out on the back end. Ladies and gentlemen, you're just paying a sales rep, and you're screwing your company over. So that's another video. I need to get off of it. I'm sorry. Been kind of one of those crazy nights, but it's been a pleasure doing the video. If it can help, please share it. And you guys have a very nice evening.